Welcome back, Airbnb family. We're in Tulum, Mexico for a couple days. Today I'm going to teach you about a new position that we've hired. The position is called a Reservations Coordinator position. I want to talk to you about why we hired the role, what the position's designed to do, the stuff that they're actually doing, how many of these roles they've hired, and how they can add value to your business if you're automating at scale like us. We have 50 Airbnb properties. So I'm going to teach you how I'm always on vacation. Let's have fun in Tulum and jump right into some fast facts about reservations coordinators. So we are about to go snorkeling in a coral reef, bringing a GoPro, so we're going to get some footage of that. But so why hire a reservation coordinator position? What does it do? Well, the reservation coordinator role is designed to basically be somebody who's always available on the Airbnb platform to handle guest requests, and then of course make sure that people know their check-in instructions when they arrive. One of the biggest things that we've noticed at scale is when somebody doesn't read their check-in guide or their self-check-in instructions, then they end up wasting a bunch of time like in the moment when we need to be fast with them because they're trying to arrive. But in this case, with a reservation coordinator role, we kind of get proactive, talk to every single guest ahead of time, make sure they understand what their check-in instructions are to prevent those in-the-moment problems. So that's the biggest one. And then response time on the Airbnb platform is a big thing for your Airbnb, like for your SEO and stuff like that, to make sure that no messages get missed. Because if any of you who have multiple properties know that once you have a bunch of properties, sometimes messages get buried. So somebody asks a question and then Airbnb messages you like after everybody's checkouts, like they give you these automatic messages, and then the ones that you need to respond to end up getting buried. So you need somebody who like is going to comb through your inbox. So that is why we've decided to hire a reservation coordinator role. And let's talk next about kind of how we've trained that person and some of the things that have been difficult when dialing in. So we did not just go scuba diving. We ended up in something called a cenote, and it was in the middle of the jungle where we had to go under the ground and go through these caves. I was able to bring my GoPro, but it was too dangerous to bring this camera, but absolutely cool. And so moving on, we decided that we were next going to talk about how to train a reservations coordinator. So the first thing you do is you make an admin, or you make a second Airbnb account. You're going to invite that Airbnb account to co-host all of your properties, and you can leave it as secondary for now for the sake of training, but you could also use that new co-host account and make it the primary co-host, so that way all communication goes directly to that account eventually, and you give a login to your reservations coordinator, and they'll start managing your business through that secondary co-host account. I told them when they first started initially, just wait and watch, right? What we're going to do is you're going to like see the communications, you're going to read along, and you're just going to see how we handle our guests, just to give context. Next, you need to lay some ground rules out. One is, of course, obviously the guest is always right. Never mistreat a guest. Two, respond to every single message in the Airbnb platform. And as you saw with another video that we just released, that if you don't respond to Airbnb, they can like rule against you because they thought that you were ignoring them. Super crazy. Third, set up hours that they're going to work and then hours that they are not going to work. We had one guy try to help at 1 a.m., thought he was being helpful, and it ended up causing confusion, and it did not help, right? So clearly define boundaries. You're also defining expectations, what it is that you want them to accomplish. So you want to make sure that everybody has their check-in instructions and knows how to get into the apartment and they feel accommodated, right? Their position is they're not yet altering reservations. They're not yet giving refunds. They're not yet making any changes that affect the occupancy of your operation, where somebody is staying. They are not changing anything. They are coordinating. We did not clearly communicate this, and there was some hiccups here where they gave somebody an alteration, and gave somebody essentially like a $2,000 refund even though it's against our refund policy, because they decided that they needed to cut their stay short. And because we weren't going to refund them if they canceled, they sent an alteration request, and a new guy accepted it, and it cost us a lot of money. That's an example. So, first co-host account, make them watch for a little while, lay out these ground rules, and make sure they follow these ground rules, and then you're going to watch them work. You're going to work with them, do some shoulder-to-shoulder stuff, and then eventually, as the training wheels come off, they should be communicating with every guest preemptively before they arrive, knowing what their checkout instructions are, etc., and following the 4-message format that I gave you. They should be conducting this 4-message format with every single guest. And that essentially is at the core what a reservation coordinator is supposed to do. Okay, so where's the value here? Well, we talked about Airbnb gives you an SEO boost if your response time is good. They deduct your SEO if you do not respond to guests at all, right? So your response percentage matters there. Also, you want to make sure that people make as few errors arriving as possible, so the reservation coordinator position does that. This also should increase your 5-star ratings for guest communication, because guests feel like that you cared and that you were preemptive and you kind of got ahead of the ball. These are all extremely important. Now, there is another hiccup that you could run into, and it's kind of a protocol thing mixed with training, which is they need to know everything about all of your properties, right? If a guest has a question and they feel that question that the guest, checks in, says, how do I work the TV or the internet, or what about X, Y, or Z, or they're asking buying questions before they book, the reservations coordinators need to know everything about your listing. So what you need to do is you need to create like a document, like a map per se, and it's going to have a bio about every single listing, what the Wi-Fi passwords are, special things to know about the listing, the neighborhood, almost like an internal profile that links up with your Airbnb profiles, shared names, and everything. So that way, if somebody ever asks, the reservation coordinator can just jump on in and look at that file and say, okay, yeah, sure, I can tell you all about what you need to know, all right? Last thing. This is one that we just kind of discovered, and I'm surprised I missed this because I've been, in business as a business owner for like a decade now. It's funny with the things you miss, right? Reservations coordinators are communicating one-on-one with guests, and so because of that, there's some things that end up being proprietary, and they have to share all new notes with the next person, coming, or with your team. I made the mistake of accommodating a guest last minute. They couldn't get into a lockbox because there's really bad weather in Houston, and she wasn't able to get the lockbox open, and we think it's because it was just too cold outside and the box kind of jammed up. So I moved her to a new property, and I'm doing this from Cancun, right? Or from Tulum. So I got it handled, and I let one person in the organization know, but I did not let the cleaning team know, and I did not let our reservation coordinators know, and thus only half the organization knew that this lady was moved. She sent a message asking if she could extend her stay at the place that she's at now because she likes the place. A reservation coordinator yeah, we can extend you another 3 days because it's available. But it was available, like the one that she could not get into was available. But she was in a 3-bedroom that we moved her to, and we had another guest arriving that day. So there's this domino effect where the guest tried to arrive, and she was there, and it was a problem. This could have been fixed if we had a shared document like notes, right? Daily notes that everybody has to look at every single day that they start their shift. They look at their updated notes. This one tip will save you from my big mistake of the day. I hope that was helpful. I hope you've been enjoying this little Tulum vlog format thing. Let me kick you with some more fun for another 20 seconds. Thank you for watching Airbnb Automated, and I will see you on the other side.
If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best friend? She just wanna hit me with a quickie by the pool, and I'm like, yes, ma'am. Way you got me feeling for your body, you might turn me to a yes, man. Oh yeah. 80 and I'm 40, I'm a nervous bitch, I'm flyer than your ex, man. We ain't gotta go outside. Two-step in the rain. Wake up by my side. Don't care what your friends think. Oh, you just my type. Oh yeah, she know the deal like an old script. You ain't the first to really sell that shit. Champagne with the roof gone. Bump this jam back in Tucson. Think I got to get a move on. Never had much to lose, but you could do do better with me in the middle of the road or the back of the Jeep. So baby, let's not talk about it.